Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire took away 2 hours of my life that I will never get back, but at least I never have to see this every single time I go to the movie theater now.
Is that a mini Kong?
Now, I understand that I am not the ideal demographic for this kind of thing because monster movies have never really been a favorite genre for me. If you want to see somebody that has a completely different perspective on these movies, you can check out my friend Ash's channel where he breaks down why I'm wrong and the Monsterverse is awesome. So I'll leave a link to that in the description for you to check out later. But for me, sitting in that theater felt like being the 30-year-old that goes to the college bar. It's just not a good fit. But also, King Kong riding Godzilla into battle should at least be a 3-star movie on my Letterboxd profile. And yeah, that's a plug to follow me. But I took my average rating from each of these Monsterverse entries so far, and that score is a 2 out of 5 overall. So I guess I like these a little bit more than whatever the fuck Sony is doing with it. But that bar is not very high. Godzilla -1 being in such recent memory also didn't help my expectations, considering that was the first Godzilla movie I've seen where I said, oh wow, that was actually really good. And to be honest, I really don't know if it's fair to call these movies Godzilla x Kong, because they really should be Kong featuring Godzilla with the amount of screen time this guy gets in each of these movies. Especially in this one, because the plot will be unfolding for 20 minutes and somebody will say, wait a second, Godzilla is doing something. And then we cut away from whatever's going on for a short 30-second kaiju fight. And I get it, okay? This is in the same vein of the Transformers movies, which are these huge live-action versions of an old Saturday morning cartoon. So a lot of people don't need the most elaborate story or fight choreography out there. But I just feel like if we are making the 2-hour version of the 30-minute cartoon, can't we make the fight scenes longer? And I mean a lot longer. If I knew in advance how short some of these fights were gonna end up being, I would have brought a stopwatch with me so I could tell you exactly how short they are. And again, I'm not going into this expecting to watch Citizen Kane, and whenever somebody criticizes these franchises, people automatically go in the comments saying, not every movie needs to be an Oscar-worthy movie, even though Godzilla just won his first Oscar. But my real point here is that a movie can be great at delivering on dumb fun. One of my favorite action movies of the past few years was Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, a stupid-ass zombie Las Vegas heist movie that was dumb fun in the best possible way, with fun action sequences and a fucking zombie king. So I am not above enjoying something as ridiculous as this, but when you waste almost an entire hour before getting to the main point of the movie, I think I have the right to complain, because the story feels like the writers had 400 words written for a 1,000-word homework assignment, and instead of adding anything of value, they just said, okay, how do we stretch what we got? Because this movie could have easily started with Kong discovering the ape tribe pretty early on, which gives you time to extend all of the action scenes and cutting out most of the human side storylines, which would have made an awesome 90-minute action movie. I know everybody already mentions how pointless the human element is in all of these movies, so I'm no genius for bringing it up here, but they just kill any momentum this movie starts to build up. And it's not like it's the most eye-rolling, painfully bad filmmaking of all time, but the movie is called Godzilla x Kong, not let's walk around Hollow Earth and do absolutely nothing useful for 40 minutes. I think the coolest part of the entire film is this sequence where Kong finds the tribe of apes and we get introduced to the Scar King. What a fucking name for a villain. But this entire sequence is almost 10 minutes long and has 0 dialogue, with not a single human character in sight, because it's not needed. Everybody knows exactly what is going on with all of these apes just screaming at each other, and they could have relied on this throughout the rest of the movie. We don't need a line of dialogue where somebody says, oh no, Kong is hurt pretty bad, when we literally just saw him getting his ass whooped. And I cannot emphasize this enough, but this really feels like this was supposed to be just a King Kong movie. And then somebody at the studio said, but guys, if we throw Godzilla's name on the poster, we'll make a lot more money. Because the Scar King is kind of cool, but not, we need Godzilla to take this guy down level cool. Yeah, he kicked King Kong's ass the first time, but as soon as they gave him the giant robot glove, this lanky ass didn't stand a chance. I also think this movie has a really major scale issue. I understand in this Hollow Earth, every single creature is enormous, and then they try to make it not seem that way by making the grass look like shitty CGI trees, but there are very few times where these monsters actually feel their size. I've seen Dune 2 3 times now, which I think gives the exact opposite feeling by making everything in that movie feel huge. But in here, when everything feels huge, your main monsters feel a lot smaller in comparison. That changes a little bit during the final action sequence, but so much of the build up to that fight never felt all that epic to me. And I think that is partly at the fault of the CGI, which isn't the worst out there, but it's not great. And it's insane how the Peter Jackson King Kong movie from almost 20 years ago looks better than this version. And I know that's because so much of this special effects budget goes to creating all of these other creatures and environments, but it still blows my mind. Apparently they are already planning to make another one of these, and I don't really know what they can do at this point besides a crossover with Fast and Furious. And I am not fully out on the idea of me really digging one of these movies. Not every monster movie has to be as serious as Godzilla -1 for me to praise it, but I do think fans deserve the best version of what these movies can be. I'm not saying it has to win Best Picture at the Oscars because not every movie is supposed to deliver on that. All I'm saying is that if I'm ordering something from McDonald's, I'd rather get the Big Mac instead of the $1 cheeseburger. I did think it was a pretty bold choice though to have King Kong give a monologue at the end explaining why he stands with Palestine. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you as always. This is all on my social media right here, so whatever you want to follow me on, be sure to check it out. If you liked the video, be sure to like the video for me. It really helps out the algorithm a lot. If you want to dislike the video because you disagree with me, that's totally cool, because then you could go like Ash's video. I want to see him finish this series, so go give him some support, whatever you can do, because the videos are really well done and he definitely deserves some more views on those. If you really like this video though and you like my opinions, be sure to subscribe because I got plenty of opinions coming. Got some smaller videos on the way, some really big video projects on the way. There's a lot of stuff coming, so if you want to buy the Chase Caesarian stock while it's this low, come on, be sure to subscribe while you can. Be sure to comment down below, do you agree with my takes on the Monsterverse? Do you love the Monsterverse? I love talking about this stuff because there are a lot of people that really love these movies and I am just not one of them. And if you want to see more from me, YouTube thinks that you're gonna like this exact video that's on your screen, so you can tell them if it's wrong and you could tell me if you like that video. We'll find out. But thank you so much for watching as always, and I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks.